Hello and welcome to the Central Nerdous System podcast, where everything is nerdy. I'm John. I'm joined here today by Derek.
I'm saying again. Hey.
Adam.
Hello.
And Chico.
Hello.
And this is a part of our series on the 2015 E3 conferences. So the other day we did the Bethesda conference, and now we're going to ring off a couple that happened today. We're going to do the Microsoft conference this time. And how many people here are Microsoft players?
Me.
Does PC
and
count
just
as
me.
Microsoft?
It kind of counts because they did cover a lot of PC games in there as well.
Then I guess I would be a little bit.
Hello.
Yeah, so...
I think it's mostly me. Let's be honest.
Yeah, mostly Derek. I used to be a Microsoft player before I switched to the PC Master Race. But...
What?
But yeah, so Microsoft wrapped up their conference today, and I do want to say in years past, we've been very hard on Microsoft. We've been hard on their conference.
Because they suck.
Yeah, but this year I actually feel they did a little bit better. They had some good, interesting stuff in there, and I'm kind of excited to talk about some stuff here. And also, you know, they paid me under the table. But
What? You better be getting some of that.
No, they didn't. So if you guys out there like your Microsoft games, we're going to give a quick recap of everything that happened during this conference. So why don't we get right into it? For all you Halo fans out there, we're going to have Halo 5 Guardians, which is a new game in the Halo franchise. They got Nathan Fillion doing a voice in it, and it was cool.
I
Sweet.
believe he's still a character as well.
Yeah, because he was in a couple of the other games too, from what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know that
I
guy.
believe he was also, what's his name? Hawkeye.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
Wait, what?
graphically, it looks really nice. It's a very, robust looking area. It looks like a next gen Halo game. The gameplay, it's basic first person shooter Halo gameplay, but they've also added a AI team companion system. They'll also have a co-op story where people can drop in and drop out. And they also announced something that was pretty insane, 24-player multiplayer.
Nice.
So, 12 on 12?
Yeah, 12v12, and they were showing footage of it, and they had all these guys on, all the blue guys just running toward the other guys, and it was pretty neat.
Nice. I didn't get to watch any of it, so this is all new to me.
I'm relying on you to tell me all these things, John.
Yeah, I also missed the conference per work.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the thing I'm going to probably be relating here to you guys is what you think about all this, like what they're doing here. The only thing I have written down here that I made note of, that there's kind of like a story between Master Chief and like one of the Spartan leaders, so you can kind of like choose your side, sort of
Spartan
thing.
Lock.
Spartan Lock, yeah. I wasn't sure if I wrote it down right. I only kind of heard it slightly. There was a little bit of a cut when it happened on my stream.
From what I see, it's Spartan Lock.
Yep.
Can we talk about the real problem, though?
What's the problem, Chico?
All the E3 streams are terrible.
Oh, yeah. EA was probably like the best looking stream in terms of its compression.
Yeah.
That one came in clear, but the Microsoft one looked like butt.
Yeah, it did. Well, from what I heard, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you could tell the graphics looked good. I mean, like, I know like the compression was off, but you could tell they looked good. It looks like you were looking at good graphics, but through a bad, like a foggy window.
Mm-hmm.
Sony one wasn't terrible.
Yeah, no, that had
Sony was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, it was mainly Microsoft, and it's kind of surprising because they deal in like computers and.
It happens.
Yeah, but
everyone has tech problems.
It got a little better as the show went along. Maybe just because it was morning and they started, and maybe they had some issues to start with. But I mean, as someone who I played Halo a little bit, I'm not very good at it. I am excited to see that 12v12 multiplayer. That seems like something that would be really fun.
Probably will be a lot of fun to play. Sorry, Derek.
No, it's no problem. I never touched 4, but everything up until then I played the shit out of. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about 5. I feel like they're overplaying the franchise at this point.
Yeah, because I heard, didn't like a couple years ago they said they were going to stop making Halo games?
That's what I thought.
They were supposed to stop.
Supposed to stop with what? Reach or something?
I think Reach was supposed to be the end just because of like the story in it.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be a trilogy, and then Reach, which was a prequel.
And then 4, and now 5.
And then all of a
And-
sudden 4 came out, and then 5, and I'm sure there'll be a 6.
I feel like if Microsoft stops making Halo games, then they're going to be losing like a huge part of their franchise, and people will stop buying it as much.
I'd probably say Microsoft's biggest exclusive would be Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you can't expect a franchise to keep going forever. Like, I know it's a shooter. There's not much you can change in it, but like, just kill it when it needs to die. Let it go.
Die a hero.
Yeah, but I think their issue was maybe they wanted it to be the end there because they had a story to it, but because Call of Duty cranks out like a new game every 5 minutes, they're like, well, we can't stop Halo now. We're going to lose so much to the Call of Duty crowd.
Yeah.
Because once we lose our grasp on the Halo community, they're all going to go over there, or they're just going to keep playing the old games and they're not going to spend any more money.
Or we'll just release the Master Chief Collection and have everyone buy that.
Yeah. But then what happens next year?
Yeah, no, I know. So,
I mean, I understand the move here to make a new Halo game. And I will say, at the very least, it looks really nice. Comparing it to the Sony conference Call of Duty, it looks a lot nicer than that. We'll get to that when we get to it. But, so, any other thoughts on Halo, or?
We'll see.
So, you said that there was AI integration, like AI computers in it, right?
Yeah, like they were having a thing where 2 people were with controllers, I believe, that were playing, and they had 2 AI that were part of their team. They were kind of like part of like the story of it.
So was it like multiplayer, or was it in the story?
It was story co-op.
Oh,
which I thought was kind of cool. I'm not sure if they did that before, or at least they haven't done it with like the AI companions at the very least.
So you can play the story co-op by yourself essentially.
Yeah.
So you got a posse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
we'll have a posse. One person can jump in, and you could have 2 people playing it. Plus, you'll have 2 other team members, which are AI.
Interesting.
That's cool. It's always been a one person or the actual players. There's never been AI for the story.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Yeah. And one of those things
cool.
that like with these kind of games, how they always say like, oh, the shooter games never change each year. That's adding something new.
Still probably not going to change the Halo formula.
No, it didn't look like it. Didn't even like we're trying to like say like we're not, but it looked good enough where I would say it's a different enough game from the other Halos.
Yeah.
That's what I would expect out of a yearly update or something like that.
Yeah, but at its core, it's still Halo.
Mm-hmm.
It's still always going to be you're this guy, fight the aliens.
Yeah. Though, I mean, when you have a series, you kind of want to have a core aspect to it, but you just want to build on it.
Definitely.
So, they started off with Halo, but then they went into a new IP, and I think Xbox, they're trying to push their new IPs because they really they didn't have much exclusive stuff for a while, at least exclusive stuff that people wanted. So, they showed this game called Recore, and it looked pretty interesting. It's got the people who worked on
Metroid and Mega Man.
Yeah, Metroid Prime. I think they also worked on stuff like Injustice and whatnot. So that stuff was pretty cool. It also has the guy who is currently working on Mighty Number 9, which is a Kickstarter title. I forget his name offhand, and I apologize for it, but essentially you play as this woman. I thought it was like a what was that game? Journey. I thought it was that for a second because it was in the desert and she had like this kind of like cloth thing around her face, but
Journey was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, but I thought it was that for a second. I'm just like, what, did they get Journey? But essentially she's this girl in the desert and they have this like robot doggy, and the doggy was cute and is going around, but like the doggy's like consciousness could be taken out of that thing and put into another robot, so it was a bigger doggy. and they showed all these like other different like robot things that it could be. It wasn't like a gameplay trailer. They just showed like the teaser trailer for it, so there's still a lot of unknowns. But it looks like an action adventure game. Takes place in like this desolate future world, post-apocalyptic, which seems to be where most games take place. Mm-hmm. I recommend you guys watch the trailer because it's a good trailer for it.
I'm watching a snippet of it now just so I have an opinion. It looks interesting.
Yeah, it looked nice.
Definitely something I would at least look into, if not buy.
Mm-hmm. I think the only thing is not enough information yet.
No.
To really decide on it, but they kind of were toting all the people that are working on it, and given the way they wrote the credits, I think it's going to be maybe story heavy.
That's good. I mean, I like story heavy games.
Yeah. So I'm interested. Did you guys see anything on Recore or?
No, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't watched any of it at all.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is a pretty big deal. I would say this is probably one of the biggest ones of the Microsoft conference, is that the Xbox One is now backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How, you may ask? Because, when you need that at launch or something, I don't know how it's backwards compatible. But the way they said it is that if you take one of your old discs, so say if you wanted to play, I don't know, Split Second, you could take the disc and you would put it in the machine. It would read the disc and notice that it's Split Second, and then take the digital copy from the store and give it to you. Which is very interesting. The only thing I'm not sure about is that how does it prevent...
There's a game on Xbox 360 and it's on the One. You put it in and you get the game on the One.
Yeah.
That's cool. That'd help with buying games you already have.
Mm-hmm. Because, you can play the games on the new console, so maybe you don't have to put as much room designated to, putting your consoles there. Let's say if I want to play my Red Dead Redemption, I could have been like, well, I'm in the Xbox. I gotta keep this other Xbox out here so I can play it, but...
Well, when the 360 came out, I don't think that wasn't backwards compatible either.
Well, it was selectively compatible. I think some games you could do backwards compatibility with.
But they fixed it with a huge update, and then most games were backwards compatible. I never found one that wasn't.
Yeah. I remember I was looking at the list, only a select few were not.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm wondering about this is how do you prevent, oh, here, let me get Split Second from the store. And then I give it to, say, Adam, and he gets Split Second from the store. Then I give the disc to Chico, and he gets it from the store.
Yeah. You'll need the disc.
Yeah. But, you give them the disc, they get the digital copy.
No, if you go to play it, you'll need the disc. It won't run without the disc. It's the same thing with all Xbox One games now. Mm-hmm. Every Xbox One game, when you put it in, you have to download it onto the Xbox, which I don't really care for right now in the first place, whatever. So every game that you have is on your hard drive, and you could go into it and access it, but as soon as you pick it up, unless you have it bought from the marketplace and downloaded it, it'll ask you for the disc.
Yeah, but what it seems like it's doing here is that it reads the disc, but it takes the digital copy from the store. Say I have Crazy Taxi on my Xbox 360, which is digital marketplace title.
Yeah.
It seems like it's doing that. It's gonna it just gives you that copy of the game. The only thing I was thinking of is that maybe each disc is unique in some way, and it would not read that disc anymore if you put it in again. Say a PC game, if you have it installed somewhere, it won't install it somewhere else.
I think it'll just ask for the disc if you put it in. I think it's smart enough to know that you got this game through a disc, and we still want the disc before we allow you to keep playing it. It doesn't matter if it's a different disc. I had a problem with my Dragon Age Inquisition disc, so I asked my friend to borrow his. For whatever reason, I couldn't install mine. So I took his, installed it, and then gave it back, and I have no problems playing it now, even though I couldn't install it. Because all I needed was the disc once it was downloaded.
So the disc wouldn't install, but after you install it with the other disc, it installed properly? It would run properly with your disc?
Yeah. At that point, it doesn't really need to read the disc. It just needs to like.
No, that's
Yes, I still own the game.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so they'll probably do that.
Yeah, that's what I imagine it'll be. Personally.
So I think this is a good move for Xbox because they had a lot of issue with public relations with the Xbox One because they were like, remember they had to redo the console essentially because no one wanted the original.
Yeah, they weren't making the best choices.
So, how many people do you think this will like warrant them from now buying an Xbox One?
I think more people will consider it now because they don't have to get rid of all their 360 games.
Yeah, because if you have a 360 player that was maybe hesitant to move up to the Xbox One, they could be like, well, now I don't need to worry about my Xbox 360 there. So who knows? Even like maybe say their Xbox 360 goes or something, or they're just like, I want to get the new one. They would be more incentive now because like, well, I don't lose any of my games here. I can still play them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not sure if this is going to make them fly off the shelves like hotcake, but this will help a bit. Especially with some of their titles that are coming out.
All in all, I think it makes people who already own the Xbox One happy. And people who might buy it consider buying it more.
Similar on the hardware side is that the Xbox is releasing a new wireless controller. It's called the Elite Wireless Controller. The interesting thing about this one is that it has more buttons than the normal controller, but it has very good button mapping system, changeable components, and extra things like a hair trigger and paddle things on the side.
Changeable components.
Yeah, you could take certain buttons out and put them in different places on there. Like you could move. You could move. I think like your analog sticks or something. You could maybe move or the buttons. I forget exactly what they showed in the trailer, but you could take stuff off and move them. How you will.
I heard it was expensive though. I heard it was. I heard it was.
It's probably gonna be more expensive, and it looks like it looks like a very mechanical in the way it works. It looks like the way they showed it in there, kind of fluid, but it's good for maybe MLG type gamers that want the best of a controller.
Gamers. So people who need to get a job.
It also is kind of says you don't have to go to a third party. They just work part time, Derek. But
significant other.
Love. Esports is life.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think this is a good thing for Xbox in that all these people, if they want these special controllers, they don't have to go to a third party. They have an in-house one that they could go with. That's the official brand name one. Also, it works for PC as well. So.
Well, soon the question will be what's better, the third party or the name brand?
Definitely
what's going to be cheaper? What's going to be the price to power ratio?
Will all these things actually be good? Is the hair trigger good for the shooters, or is it maybe there's a better one you could get?
I wonder if actually people who play CS:GO or whatnot actually use controllers, or if it's controller compatible.
I don't know about you guys, but I got my controller right here. My hot pink see-through Xbox controller with a cord.
I have my Xbox controller somewhere.
So
mine's in my living room.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna go get it.
I use my PS3 controller.
I use PS4 controllers.
I do have a controller right here.
You technically can, yeah.
That thing's cool and shiny.
Yeah, it's one of the afterglows.
Nice. But yeah, I think the controller is an interesting concept. I kind of want to see maybe what reviews are on it, what the price range is on that thing.
I saw a mention of it. Sorry, I saw a mention of it on Reddit when I was scrolling through, but I didn't look at it because I was working.
That's good.
Not if you were on Reddit.
Listen,
you're never working if you're on Reddit.
Let's be honest.
Listen, I'm only just starting to be on Reddit. I do love it though.
I haven't gotten into Reddit yet. Which
You're
is surprising. It's surprising because I'm a nerd. But
yeah.
I've been more the site I usually get into is like TV tropes and whatnot. But I digress from that. Let's move forward. Fallout 4 we mentioned in the previous podcast, but they did talk about it some more. They did a new gameplay reveal trailer,
which I have yet to watch, but I am going to eventually.
So they didn't. It wasn't like a huge mind-blowing thing like the one last time. They showed off like a laser musket, which was pretty cool. They showed off the way the combat system works, and like they have like hand to hand and the guns and whatnot. But I would probably say the biggest thing. There's two things actually that were pretty
two big things.
One, Fallout 3 will be included with Fallout 4
on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm, on the Xbox One. And secondly, the PC mods for the game can be transferred to the Xbox One for free. And that's something I think is a really big step. It makes me kind of head towards wanting Fallout 4 even more because, look, I mean, the idea of mods on a console is a lot more difficult to do than on a PC.
Yeah.
So this kind of makes it a little more open access, and it brings the community together because they can all share in the mods.
I've never played any of the Elder Scrolls or Fallout or anything with mods because I've always played them on the Xbox. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to actually be able to finally use some mods. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not one that usually mods their games heavily. Like, I think probably the most modding I've dabbled in was like getting mods for Minecraft. But
we all know you did the nude mods.
I didn't do the nude mod actually for Minecraft. I just did like too many items and whatnot mostly. But
that'll be the first mod made.
Check it. Well, yeah, it's always the first mod made.
First mod made for Skyrim. It's like 12 hours later.
Too many items.
I don't even know if it was 12.
Too many nudes.
Too many nudes.
Nude horse mod. That's like the next thing that happens.
So how many people here have played Fallout a lot?
3 and 4 I played, or not 3 and 4. 3 in New Vegas I played quite a bit.
That was it.
I haven't played any of the franchise, but Fallout 4 is making me consider.
I played 1.
Really?
Like a couple hours, yeah. It was not the same.
Well, what can you do when how many years earlier was it?
I don't know.
Somewhere. I said it last night, I'll say it again. I'm super excited for this game.
Yeah.
The Pip-Boy edition, which I just saw on their website, was $120.
You get a Pip-Boy.
I know, but $120, like, come on.
Mm-hmm. I'm not made of money.
Break that. No, I understand. I'm just saying, break that down into your hourly wage and how many hours you have to work just for that game.
I have to work a week for that game, essentially.
Wow, what the fuck? Get a better job, dude.
Well, that's job 1.
Get a better job, dude.
Job 2, I could probably buy 2 of them in a week.
Do it, bro.
I just
not using my money on that.
Buy 2.
Build.
Oh.
1 for you and 1 for yourself.
He's got a point.
Wait a minute.
Dude, buy 2. Dual Pip-Boys.
Dual Pip-Boy.
When would you ever have a need for 2 Pip-Boys?
See, right there. You could look it up on both arms.
When would you have a need for 2 Yu-Gi-Oh card things on your hands?
You
could the time.
You could look up the answer on one arm and still have your VATS on the other.
The VATS is pretty important.
Exactly. You don't want to that.
Yeah, that'd be the best. That'd probably be the best dual wield. Pip-Boy on one arm, Yu-Gi-Oh on the other arm.
On the other.
I'll duel you in VATS.
Trap card.
You've activated my trap card. Oh wait, here's my VATS to pinpoint the direct spot it hit you.
Right there, in the heart.
Oh, mysterious stranger. You're dead.
So the next thing that happened is that EA decided to, crash the Microsoft conference early and announce EA Access, which is they used the slogan "Play first, play more, and play for less." So it's kind of it's basically like a PlayStation Plus program where how you join their service and you get free games and access to them as long as you're up with the service.
I have a friend who does.
They're doing that, only it's not as it's not as like a every month thing. Like PlayStation's like every couple of months they'll have a free game. The first game that's going to be out is going to be Titanfall because they want people to play it, and the second one's going to be Dragon's Age Inquisition at the end of the summer. And they also said that now this one I'm not exactly sure what they mean. They said that it's free for Xbox Gold members, but I'm not sure if that means that either the service is free if you already have Xbox Gold membership, or if that just means you get a free trial of it if you have Xbox Gold membership. I like to assume the former because that would be cool. But
Xbox Live Gold members will have access to 12 titles on Xbox One this week for free as well, starting today. I don't know exactly what that means.
And also this week, does that mean just for this week, or?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think this week means just for this week.
Which that's kind of lame, but at least EA, a lot of them are kind of hopping on this idea of the monthly subscriptions with free games included.
Mm-hmm.
How well do you think EA is going to do at it, though?
It all depends on what games they can offer.
Well, let's look at the ones that they mentioned explicitly. They said Titanfall and Dragon's Age Inquisition.
Titanfall's a dead game. No one is going to be excited to play Titanfall.
It's been out for too long.
Mm-hmm. But Dragon's Age is something that I think people might be a little excited for if they haven't gotten a chance to play it yet.
Mm-hmm. Tyler, how much have you played Dragon Age?
I've played enough to where I don't know. I haven't had time to play it recently.
Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't affect people like, our friend Tyler who owns the game, plays it a lot, has gotten very far in it, but this would help a lot of people, especially, on the Xbox here, because maybe they wouldn't have it as much.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see what they do. At the current moment, this doesn't look like the most spectacular deal.
And don't forget, you also get the sports games.
Yeah, you gotta have the sports games. We'll talk about those during the EA podcast, which is gonna follow this. But this is basically EA Access. They didn't really do too much there. Another thing, they just showed it quick. They delve into more detail in the EA one. I'm just gonna mention quick: Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare 2.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not that interested.
And moving on.
Really.
Yeah. So now this is probably the funniest thing, at least to me,
wow,
in the Microsoft conference. So they do this really nice thing about the Ford GT and how it's won Le Mans so many times back in the 60s and how it's been one of the top cars at Le Mans. And I'm a huge racing fan, so I thought that was cool. So what they do is they do this really elaborate thing where they lower the new Ford GT down into the place.
Drop it?
Well, no, they don't drop it, but they do this epic thing where they lower it down into the thing and they put it down. It's right there, and the crowd was just like, eh. Like it was probably the most expensive setup to do for all of these because they had to rig a system there to lower this heavy vehicle down into the stadium.
The vehicle itself.
Mm-hmm. And no one was impressed. They're just like, meh. But then they showed Forza Motorsport 6 stuff. Now, based on what I saw in the trailer there, it looks like every other Forza Motorsport game. Only difference I saw was that it looks like they added the Monaco racetrack. I'm not sure if that was in any previous ones, because I've played up to 3. Monaco is not a track in 3. But the Monaco circuit is featured in this one, based on what they showed in the trailer. So they have, I think they said 20-something different tracks, which is about what you would find in a Forza game. But the cool thing, though, the part I like, 24-car multiplayer, which I think is a good testament to this next gen and being able to hold more people on a server. That would be
Project
fun.
Cars has 32.
Well,
Way too many people to crash into.
It's so much fun.
Yo, I can't wait for a NASCAR game, like a non-iRacing NASCAR game, where you can have 43 people in a racetrack. And have it work properly, though. That's the asterisk here. Have it work properly, because the Technics guys do not know how to work a NASCAR game. So, that was my mini rant there about how terrible NASCAR games are lately. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't much to say about the Forza Motorsport 6 thing, because, I mean, other than 24-car multiplayer being a cool concept for Forza, there really isn't much else there that's different enough to really gravitate me toward there. It looks nice, but so did 5. So did 4.
Yeah.
3 looked pretty good too, but that was last gen, like by a long shot.
I'm not a big racer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very good.
I'm not good, so I hate it.
Well, I'm not good at racing either, but I love them.
I didn't say I hate it. I said
I know.
said I'm not much of a racer.
I'm good at racing, I'm just not a fan of Forza.
I liked Forza a lot. It's just that, I mean, I just didn't find it necessary to buy each new installment, because 3 was good. I didn't need 4. I didn't need 5.
Every year.
I didn't need 6. 3 was good enough.
Bro, there's so many new things in the new Madden.
It's like a new roster and everything.
Here, we'll talk about that when we get to EA. I can't wait till we get to EA, because this is going to be fun. Well, the EA fans are going to hate us, but that one guy will be have to deal with it.
I can't wait till we get to EA.
But you can't wait for a different reason. But let's continue. This was an interesting one that they announced. Dark Souls 3 was announced during the Microsoft conference. It's got they have a release date. It's going to come out early 2016, so it's still a little whiles away. But one cool thing they had in the trailer, he was traversing this landscape, and it was really cool. All of a sudden, the landscape stands up, and it's a Colossus.
That sounds like it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds crazy and terrifying.
It was crazy and terrifying. The graphics looked really nice for it. I've not played any of the Dark Souls games, but I know they're quite popular. We had Bloodborne come out earlier this year, which is, I would say, similar vein of game. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, you guys haven't seen the trailer, but from what I mentioned here, I mean, it was just a quick trailer that showed off that, yes, there is a Dark Souls 3 coming out. It's coming out this time, and oh, look at this, it's a Colossus. Ooh.
I wonder if it's going to be more like 1 or 2. I never played 2, and I got like halfway through 1. A little background for me.
Never played any of the Dark Souls games, and I don't know too much on them either.
Chica?
But
I don't have an Xbox.
well, these are on PC also. That's where I first played Dark Souls. I've just heard that the first one was a lot harder than the second one. So I'm just curious to know if they'll bring it back up or keep it where it was for the less dedicated fans.
I've always heard that. Like, whenever I hear Dark Souls mentioned, I always hear, like, insane difficulty, like, coincide with that.
I think the tutorial took me 20 tries.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dog.
The tutorial took me 20 tries to get through.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was talking to some other people that took about 20 tries too. Because that was really popular with some of the students in my animation class who all eventually dropped animation. So, because it was eating into their Dark Souls time, dude.
Of course.
That was on when I played it on the PC, but when I switched over to the Xbox, I got it in like 1 try because I knew what I was doing. It's all about, you got to know what you're doing. You got to learn from your mistakes. Once you know, you're good.
So,
ignorance will kill you.
So yeah, Dark Souls 3 coming out. It's happening, people. It's happening. I'm sorry we can't really get more excited about, but it's just not a franchise we're too familiar with.
Yeah.
But
If I knew and liked it a lot, I would be stoked. But
it's a good franchise. It's probably on sale right now.
yeah, it's Steam Summer Sales time, so maybe go check that out.
There are other games that I'm gonna get first.
Mm-hmm. Like City Skylines. Well, you already have it, and I have it too.
Like if Mass Effect is on sale, I'm probably just gonna get that. I want to play Mass Effect.
So I want to move on to the next topic here, because last year we almost basically said that these two got the award for best trailer of E3, and it was Tom Clancy's The Division and Rainbow Six Siege. And while we said last year that they probably had the best trailers, I would say this year they kind of disappointed me a bit because there really wasn't much of an update on either of them. They kind of showed trailers that were much shorter, very simple, basically saying, yeah, they're still coming out, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it really didn't delve any further. It wasn't as creative as the first trailer they put out. So my hype kind of went down a bit. I'm still a little bit excited for Siege, because I like the prospect of it, which is kind of like, the SWAT versus hostage takers.
This is the first I'm hearing of them, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think you were in our podcast for last year when we did E3.
No. I am excited, though, because, if you remember, Rainbow Six Vegas was one of my favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really excited for this. And I see that Ubisoft revealed that everyone who gets Siege gets Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2 for free, which is sweet.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like this trend of hey,
getting free games.
Yeah, they did that with Bayonetta. They did that with a couple other games too.
They're doing it with Fallout.
Mm-hmm. They're just like, yo, you want to play our game? Here, have another game.
Yeah,
on the house. Why not? We made enough money off this.
You can't have this game without having the one that came before it. Like, you just can't do that.
Come on, play both, dude. Come on.
They understand.
Dude. So yeah, they get me. Video game companies get me.
Why do I die first?
So are you two still hyped for Tom Clancy and Rainbow Six, or do you guys just not care about those?
It looks good. I'd like to play it, but I don't know if I will.
It all depends on how many people I would be playing it with.
Yeah.
I'm always like that on games. I want to be able to play it with a couple people and know that these people are gonna want to play it before I actually
playing it yourself.
There are only so many games I can play with myself and not get angry at the entire world.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing was with Minecraft. Minecraft, when I was thinking about purchasing it, I was kind of waiting to see if do I have some friends that also want to play it too, so it could be more fun. Because I think Minecraft is more fun with friends.
Definitely. I don't play it when I don't play it with you guys.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I play it single player, but I have other means that I play it with. But, so, I mean, that's the Tom Clancy and Rainbow Six. Nothing much new came out of this. They didn't blow any minds this time, but at least we know they're coming. I think, are they coming out this year? I forget. I don't think they said the release date.
It doesn't look like it.
So I thought I heard that Siege was coming out this year.
10, 13, 15.
Nice. So October.
That's what the trailer they showed says. It looks like.
All right. So, yeah, look out for that in October.
Damn it.
So now they have a new one here, and Derek, you'll be excited because there's an open beta available in August for it. It's a team battler that's going to be an Xbox and PC exclusive, which is gigantic. And we've been seeing a lot of these type of games coming out, like these team battle games. I'm worried that they're going to oversaturate the market and none of them are going to sell well.
Like Battlecry, right?
Mm-hmm. It's basically Battlecry, only it's different art style and different characters and whatnot. It seems like this one has more of kind of like a super essence being feel, where Battlecry was more of a, they kind of a standard slashy killy thing, kind of looked Borderlandy in style.
I'm trying to check out the trailer they showed, but my internet's being poor.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the issue with gigantic... well, I mean, it looks nice. It's just that the style of game is something that's being done a lot recently.
Yes. That's being overplayed. And I don't know why.
Maybe Team Battlers are where it's at, dog.
It's just...
TF2 suddenly gonna get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
more hats.
TF2, but that's been out for so long. Why now?
Because they got their market research guys. They're like, this is the new trend.
I just don't understand why it's all of a sudden all these games are coming out that are like it.
Well, maybe it's because they're trying to push more of like that cooperative play feel. Because multiplayer, is taking off. Obviously, that's been the more dominant form as of late. So maybe team battlers are a good way for a quick match with some friends. And also, Splatoon came out, so they gotta compete with that.
I mean, I normally won't. I try not to buy games that don't have multiplayer for $60.
Yeah.
Because I usually play them once and then I'm done.
So me, I don't usually buy games for $60 anymore.
Yeah, like if I'm ever gonna buy a game, I'm gonna try and get it on sale.
Mm-hmm. And even that, like most games that are $60 just don't interest me. 'Cause I'm not really a AAA guy. Most of the AAA titles are just kind of like, meh. I could play an indie title that's 8 times better.
You're like the hipster gamer.
I kind of am, but I'm not like... Because it's AAA, it's bad. It's just that what they've been putting out recently just doesn't appeal to my interest. I like more of a quirkier game.
Yeah.
And like stuff, I like stuff like Stanley Parable, which that was $60. That would be an outrage. But $12, $15, I'd buy it, which I did for $12. It was worth every penny.
I can't remember the last game that I bought the day it came out.
Yeah.
Or before the price dropped.
I remember it was Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I bought that at launch.
Oh, sorry, Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse.
I also bought Stanley Parable at launch.
That was a stupid idea. That was a stupid idea. I shouldn't have bought that on release day.
Sorry.
Dragon Ball Z, gotta buy.
You hear about the new Dragon Ball Z that's coming out, or the Dragon Ball rather?
No.
The new series that's coming out.
Oh yeah, yes, I do know about that.
I'm very, very excited for that.
I never got into Dragon Balls or Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, it's so good.
I tend to stay away from Dragon Balls, but the show I do like.
I never got into Dragon Balls. I don't like to drag my balls.
Well, you gotta be careful of, like, rubbing it and then getting all raw and stuff.
And shit,
Splinters.
Splinters, broken glass and debris on the ground. It's not a fun time.
Where were we?
Well, we were about to start up with the indie wrap-up that they did. They did a quick thing where they showed a bunch of their games. I tried to write down all of them, but they flicked by fast. So this is all the indie titles they have going on for their console. They got Rise and Shine, Flame of Flood, Phantasmal Souls Project, Westerado Double Barreled is going to be coming to Xbox, which I think that's good because Westerado is a cool game. Sword Coast, Outward, Goat Simulator Extended Edition. I think it was called like More Goats Edition. Something stupid like that. The Behemoth, Below, Ark, which I've heard a lot of people been playing it on YouTube.
Dinosaur one?
I think so.
Yeah,
that's the same one. ARK, Ark.
Oh yeah, that's the dinosaur one.
Yeah, because Jurassic World came out, so they have to have the dinosaur game.
Jump on the dinosaur bandwagon.
They have Recruits, and they also have Super Hot, which was a really good demo that they put out. I kind of want to see what their full game will look like.
Yeah.
You guys know what Super Hot is?
Yes, that's the time moves when you move, right?
Yeah, it's a shooter, but time moves when you move. So if you're standing still, everything's is like really, really slow. But when you move,
almost still.
Yeah, when you move, time speeds up. It's a really cool game concept, and it has a lot. It's like kind of like a puzzle shooter in a way.
I played the browser game when they first announced it. And I was like, this is really freaking cool.
Mm-hmm. So
I want to see more of this.
I'm glad that they announced it here, saying that that's going to be on our console shortly. Because that means it's still being worked on. Because I was worried for a while that they abandoned the project or something.
I actually thought about that like today. It's weird that they, yeah.
So that's good, but they showed off a couple of indie games in more detail though that weren't on that list or were showed on that list, but I decided to save them for later on. So they came up with one called Tacoma, which has anyone here played or seen anything on the game Gone Home? It won Game of the Year, Indie Game of the Year a while back.
I've heard of it. I don't remember too much on it.
Well, Gone Home is essentially it's an exploration game where you play this woman that came home after like being away for a little bit to find the house empty, and it's this story told out through pieces like occasional dialogue snippets of their younger sister, and like looking through the house there, it's about how the younger sister is actually gay, but has to keep it on the hush, and about the love affair she has with her friend, and it didn't appeal to me completely. I think Stanley Parable was the best indie game of that year, but it is a really nice looking game. It was really well implemented. I love the soundtrack by the Bratmobile, which is a good Riot Grrrl punk band from the 90s. But so they're making a space exploration game, it looks like, called Tacoma. But from what they showed, there really wasn't too much of interest. It was kind of, empty corridors, standard space things.
Space crap.
Looked kind of like a Dead Space without monsters, essentially.
Dead Space without monsters.
Kinda. I mean, it was just like...
So, Space Simulator.
Basically. I mean, there's probably a narrative here that they didn't show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they would really devote time to just a straight exploration game. That's something like Rock Lee Smile would do. But...
So might as well be Dead Space?
Maybe. I don't know. There's not enough information to really say. I was a little underwhelmed by the trailer. So, I'm not really sure. They put... the next one was a game called Ashen, which is a low-poly adventure game. Like, the way the art style there is done with very low-poly character models. All the characters have no face. But the environment looks kind of interesting, and, you're kind of, like, going through ruins and whatnot. It's like low-poly Uncharted. That seems to be kind of like the theme of these indie games. It's like this, but, not as good.
Yeah.
The next two, though, are ones I'm excited for in terms of indie games. This one is called Beyond Eyes, and you play as a blind little girl who's exploring the world on an adventure. And the way they do it is that everything is like pitch white, except for like certain aspects of the world which kind of form based on like the sounds and senses and feel from the character.
Gotcha.
Like I mean, it was an interesting little trailer.
So you play... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so you play a blind girl, and you're going on an adventure. And it's kind of cool because things will disappear and reappear based on if you're sensing it or not. And the art style, I mean, minimalistic but really good. Kind of reminded me of Unfinished Swan. But, like, it isn't like a puzzle. Well, it wasn't like a full exploration, I don't think. Again, not a lot of details here, so you kind of just have the idea of the mechanic.
Yeah.
Interesting, at least.
Then we have the game that so far is probably my top game that I'm excited for at E3, which is Cuphead, which was announced like last E3, and I think was featured a couple times before, but they've just not released any details on this game. It's basically a 2D... it's a 2D game. I'm not sure if it's a platformer, if it's just going to be like, fighting enemies on screen. But it's done in the style of 1930s animation. And it looks really nice. Like, I mean, they did a stellar job making the animation for this. And really visually distinct, very creepy looking because of the way the 30s animation is, how everything's kind of moving, and it has like the noodly arms and the big eyes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I like the way they ended off their trailer. They said, coming out in 1936, plus 80 years. So.
I'm just a little off. It happens.
I would recommend looking at the Cuphead trailer. It's only 32 seconds, but it's really interesting. They got some nice monsters and whatnot and enemies. And I think I think it might be co-op because they have two characters, Cuphead and Mughead. So I can see that being a pretty interesting co-op game. Kind of reminds me not exactly like Battle Block Theater because it's a completely different game, but the idea of that it had that kind of feel to it maybe. And the soundtrack's pretty good too, very jazzy.
The game's
advocate of jazz.
I am an advocate of jazz.
Mm.
So next thing on the list was early access demos. Daisy, Long Dark, Shelter. Just going to be some early access demos available, so you can play the game for a little while and then decide if you want to buy it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're demos.
Mm-hmm.
They've
Pretty
done
cool.
that. They did that recently with Metro 2033, where they let you play like the first however part of the game, and then all right, if you want to play more, you got to buy it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Shelter is exactly. In the Long Dark, I kind of forgot what it was about, but I know what Daisy is, and
yeah,
I know what Matt plays Daisy, right?
What?
Adam, Chico.
What was the question?
Matt plays Daisy, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. He hasn't.
Well, he used to. He said that he wasn't able to play the most recent one because of the update, and he's not able to handle it.
I can't even handle it anymore.
I used to play it a long time ago, like when it first came out.
I just got it, and I tried playing it once, and then we gave up and played League.
Same diff.
Hey, whatever.
I think this is probably the last indie. There's a game called Ion that they said is coming out. From what it looks like, it's going to be a MMO simulator. We lost Derek. But
Oh no!
Come on, Derek. I believe in you.
MMO simulator. Maybe you will have to do some editing.
No editing.
Nah, it happened.
Live.
Hey,
Derek, welcome back.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, how you doing?
So they announced it as an MMO simulation, but the trailer showed absolutely nothing, so I have no idea.
What was this?
Simulation.
It's called Ion. It's an MMO simulation game, but based on the trailer, there was nothing that told you what this game was about. Just space or ions. I don't know, but it's basically I think I want to say the issue with Microsoft's conference is that there was a lot of games that were shown, but you're really not sure what they do, so it was hard to get hyped over them.
Well, crappy thing about announcement trailers and teasers and blah blah blah. What? Hey, this is it. No details.
You want to buy it, don't you?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Hey, sometimes it works.
Sometimes it don't.
So, next up we want to talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the new Tomb Raider game, and they showed some gameplay. They're on this mountain, and they're climbing it, and Laura Croft is doing all this cool stuff while wearing a parka, and just and not showing skin at all. So it's
Wow.
climbing on stuff and sliding down conveniently placed ropes and whatnot. So basically Uncharted, but with boobs that are hidden
At
under a
least they
parka.
weren't trying to focus in on the boobs.
Well, they've been trying to do that more with the recent Tomb Raider games, which I kind of like in a way, because it gives you a character more of a human characteristic instead of boobs. I kind of want to see more strong female characters in games.
I think
That'd be nice. I don't know. Lara Croft has always been the star of those games, and it's just good to see. I mean, her outfits weren't always the most reasonable or appropriate
practical.
For the practical is the word I was looking for. Yes, for what she does, and it's nice to see her in something actually practical instead of just trying to draw the little boys out of their hole.
Yeah, and the way they portray the character, I feel, she's a decent role model. She's strong without it being forced, from what I've seen though of the trailer. But she does cool flippy things and doodly doos and goes all around, and like the guide's like, I can't make the jump, I can't hold you for much longer, and she's managing to save herself out of those. It looks good. Really nice graphics. I like the snow setting. I'm assuming that's just going to be one part of the game, though.
Probably.
Only thing, though, is that it feels like Uncharted, and from what we've seen at the Sony conference, the new Uncharted game, which we'll talk about more in detail later on, looks a little bit better than this.
But this is a franchise. Big franchise, long-going franchise.
Yeah.
People are going to get it.
So the next thing is a really big thing. Now, everyone kept saying that this was going to be a big year for Rare and their titles. And people were expecting new Battletoads. Are we going to get a new Conkers? Are we going to get a new Banjo-Kazooie? What are we going to get? This isn't any of those, which is kind of disappointing in that regard. But it is something that's pretty cool. I'm kind of happy it exists. So they took 30 games by Rare, put them on one disc compilation for Xbox One, and it's going to cost $30.
Not a bad price for $30.
That is very good. And you get Conkers, you get Banjo-Kazooie, you get Battletoads, you get Pro-Am, you get Perfect Dark, you get all these games that Rare has put out for $1 a game. That is impressive.
It's like a nostalgia trip.
And it comes out August 4th for those who are interested. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Like, are you happy about that they released this? Would you have preferred they released actual game for Rare? And if you do like this concept, is there any other game companies you would like to see do this?
I mean, Sega's done it several times. I mean, I think every game company that's got older games has pretty much done this, especially in the freestanding, like, hey, just plug this into your TV and it'll run. I got one of them. The Atari, I think it is. Yeah, I think I got one for the Atari.
What, the plug-and plays?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got two of them.
It's just one of those that you can play on the Xbox.
It's just a concept that's always won't be a terrible thing to do, but
I don't think it's...
There's always things that you could do more instead, like actually making another game.
I don't think it's groundbreaking. I think it's a safe move, but I think people still buy it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I'm impressed of is just, the sheer volume for that price. Considering that these are games that are, they're full games. It's not like a Atari game where it's like you gotta, do what to do and get the high score. These are like, actual story-based games in their entirety, like Conkers. I'm not sure if they're gonna do any remastering to them. So some of them, I'm not sure how, because I think some of them are like older games, like when they first started, like Pro-Am.
Tweak it a little bit and then put it up. They won't like fully remaster it like they did with Conkers back and whenever.
But I think that's a good move. A lot of people who like the Rare games can play them on the new console. And if they do end up making a new game, like there's rumors and hints that they're going to do, this could be a good way to, boost hype for that. So maybe it's a strategic move. Like they're just going to release this first and then they're going to get out the new game if they're going to do that.
Who knows? I don't know. I think people will get it.
Oh, I forgot here. I think actually Rare did come up with a game that's coming out here. But it's a new IP. It's not a thing there. It's called Sea of Thieves. It's going to be a pirate MMO, and I believe it is a Rare title. So what you do is you're a bunch of pirates. You get this. I think it's going to be open world or open world to an extent. The trailer didn't show too much. It is rare?
Yes.
Good. My note taking was correct. But Adam, you okay?
Yeah, no, I accidentally knocked over my drink again. but it's empty this time, so nothing came out, sadly.
I like the idea of I almost knocked it over again. Douche!
Just
Pad up to here with this non-Banjo-Kazooie gameplay.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, so Sea of Thieves, you get pirate ships, you get your clans going, and you can, have ship battles, and they show ships ramming into each other, and cannon fire going off, and exploration aspects to it.
I think they were like, hey, Assassin's Creed Black Flag did really well with their naval warfare. We should try something like that.
Because, Assassin's Creed doesn't think they did because they got rid of it.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But, what do you guys think of this concept? Because, there have been pirate games before, but I'm not sure if there's been an MMO for pirates. And also the idea of it, being parts, being pirates and looting, part exploration game. What do you guys think?
What was that?
Seems exciting. I would
zoned
try
out
it.
for a moment.
Well, yeah, what was the posed question?
I asked, what do you guys think of this concept of this game, and does it excite you in any way?
I think it's been done. It's Black Flag. I don't really think it's anything to get excited over.
But in Black Flag, how was the multiplayer in Black Flag, if any?
Fair, there was none. Naval combat, I believe. I don't think there was any naval combat multiplayer.
So see, now you get the fun of that, but in
oh yay,
an MMO. Remember, it's an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a lot of people battling pirates and whatnot.
I think too many people are pushing MMOs now. There's way too many MMOs coming out, and they're all going free to play, like within a year of them coming out, mostly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like WildStar.
WildStar, Terra did it. The Old Republic. ESO, I don't think is free to play, but we talked about that yesterday.
Funny thing about the WildStar free to play. Basically, it's coming out in a Humble Bundle, and basically what it is, you get a key per account, and if you already have a WildStar account, you get game time, which doesn't make sense because it's going free to play. So that's the thing.
I mean, you could, for most of the free to play games, you could be a subscriber and it would give you benefits.
True, but it doesn't like you just get free subscriber time.
Do you think we could all be swashbucklers in this game?
I would not have time for an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of us would be dead swashbucklers, but yes.
I'm not sure, though, if this is going to be the traditional MMO format, if they're trying something different here. My prediction, though, is that this is going to be overshadowed by No Man's Sky when that comes out.
Man's Sky.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Things get pretty shocking over there, Chico.
He was just surprised by that notion.
Mm-hmm. What? No Man's Sky will beat this? But it doesn't have pirates.
I think it's going to disappear. I think you'll hear about it once or twice when it comes out, and then...
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not sure if it has the staying power.
Holiday 2016 is supposed to come out.
Maybe, I think.
No, that was our
that
question.
is.
Sorry. Yeah, it's Holiday 2016. I don't know, I won't... By that time, I'll have forgotten about it.
Mm-hmm. So, one last quick thing before we get to the two final big topics of the Microsoft conference. Fable Legends, they put out a quick trailer. Wasn't anything special. Didn't really show much new off. They just basically wanted to say that it's coming out this holiday season.
Yay.
So, Fable Legends was, I believe, what was it again from last year? It was the Fable game where, like, you had 4 buddies and you could battle and whatnot, and there's, like, a 5th person that sets up, like, dungeons and maps and whatnot or something.
I don't know.
No idea.
I forget. It
I
was
don't
like
remember
Fable Evolve essentially, from what I
Yeah.
remember from last year. So that's the issue. It didn't stick with me from last E3. So this trailer that didn't say much about it made me forget all about what it was about. So that's really all I have to say about that.
I didn't. Nah.
So the next thing that happened was probably one of the coolest demonstrations we'll see at E3 this year, and it was their demonstration of the Microsoft HoloLens. Now I told you guys you should check that out.
I did, and
You
it was
checked it
so
out.
cool.
Did you two check it out?
I did not yet.
Do it right now.
It was ridiculously awesome.
Yeah, like, so to recap while you guys are looking it up,
Here, I just sent you guys a link. Okay,
totally do. But
Yes,
To
I did
recap-
see this.
recap while you guys are looking it up, so they played a game of Minecraft using the HoloLens, and they had the female representative there. She was playing in the server, and they had the guy there. He was playing the server too, but on a virtual screen that was projected by the HoloLens. They then took down the screen, went over to the table, and said create world, and on that table it built the Minecraft world that they were currently in.
So cool.
And you could see the little player running around that she was controlling. They went down to the village, and he went underground with the camera and told her that there's a stronghold down there. She TNT'd her way down into it, and he used like the lightning bolt thing to set off the TNT.
He commanded the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
How?
He apparently
He looked at it.
he looked at it and said lightning bolt, and then lightning struck the TNT.
No, how is this projected?
I don't think it was actually projected, because at one point you see like the table, and it doesn't look like there was anything on the table.
Yeah, what they did
I
was they
think-
put the HoloLens in front of the camera so you could see what he was seeing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they
but-
were just like showing on video, like they were streaming the video from the camera to like the screens. I think that's just what the guy's seeing. I'm fairly positive that's just what the guy's seeing. So you're
Yeah,
gonna look
that's
like an
what it
idiot.
is, because that's what the HoloLens... Well, they have the same HoloLens thing probably going into both, but because they're at different angles, you're seeing it from different perspectives.
So everyone else, if the camera wasn't there, would just be watching this guy play with a table, and he'd look like an idiot.
Yeah. But with the camera there, they're showing that he's actually playing with Minecraft on this empty table.
I think it looks wicked sweet.
Oh yeah, it looks really cool. The only thing I'm not sure about is, one, I'm not sure how exactly this technology works to make it appear on the table. Like, my guess is that maybe you set parameter points for it to confine to, and then it'll stick to those. The other concerns I have is one, will it look that good of quality in the final product? Because, like, some people were wondering, because sometimes the virtual reality stuff isn't full HD quality, like they showed there.
Yeah.
And secondly, other than this, what are some of the other applications of it for gaming?
How much is that going to cost?
Yeah,
is
it's
my
going to be pretty
question.
expensive, so I'm wondering if it's really worth it. For, just to make your Minecraft world look cool.
Who's going to be able to afford that if it's
A
expensive?
1%?
Yeah. The 1%. Mitt Romney and his buddies.
He's going to have his binders full of women, but they're all going to be virtual reality.
Yes, exactly.
That'd be cool, though, if you had... Dude, you know what? I like how each new innovation of technology or gaming or mods, we just think about, like, how can we put nudity in this?
I mean,
I could
yeah,
have a virtual porn stash.
the developers might as well just do it for everyone and just save everyone time.
Here's your porn glasses.
Yeah.
I just wish I understood like what I was actually looking at.
If the camera wasn't there recording, you'd just be looking at a table.
Yeah, but I want to know how that works.
I know. I'm not really sure how it works either, because I'm not
do I-
technologically inclined, but it's really interesting.
Yeah. How? I'm trying to think of a way to like explain it in a way that I look at it.
These scrubs are using glass for smoke instead of spider webs.
What bastards. They also said, though, that this was a custom-made Minecraft thing that they made for, like, a beta for this technology. Since, Microsoft does own Minecraft now.
Yes.
So...
the way I guess I see it is like, when you're watching movies and they got like these high tech people and they're using like their touch screen things that are floating in the sky and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, except you're the only person who can see it because you're wearing the glasses. Everyone else just thinks you're crazy.
They already think that without fancy glasses.
I mean, yeah, that.
But,
I mean, yes.
There's a couple things I do want to mention with the virtual reality stuff they mentioned, and it's kind of like confusing information because they said that Microsoft has made a virtual reality partnership with Valve for their virtual reality thing that they're working on, but they also are going to ship Xbox controllers with Oculus Rift, which is not the Valve thing. So what it kind of looks like here is that they're covering all their bases with all the virtual reality programs. So they got their own virtual reality thing in the works. They're packaging an Xbox controller with the Oculus, and they're making a partnership with Valve's virtual reality stuff.
They are pushing for that VR, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. But earlier this year, I think it was, they did some stuff with the HoloLens, and people were just like, "No way, that's actual content from that. You would need like, no way." So this is kind of like the first showing test of it, what it could actually do.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. So, last topic from the Xbox conference. It was all Gears of War related. So first they announced that they were going to have the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. And Derek is just like, la-dee-da.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, nowadays they release an Ultimate Edition of everything.
Yeah. I just mean Gears of War itself. I got bored of that series.
But they are going to be releasing Gears 4, which is going to come out holiday 2016, so it's still whiles away. They showed the trailer, but you could barely see it because it was pitch black, essentially, because of the way they did their environment and contrast.
It was a dark series.
Yeah, but like now it's like emo kid's blood. Dark.
Ooh.
Just dark.
It's just pitch black. Like, you could barely make anything out in the trailer. I think maybe they did it purposely for hype, but...
I mean, the series slowly died for me. Like, 1, I played the crap out of. 2, I played a little bit less, and then 3, I never even touched.
Less crap and didn't give a crap. Alright.
And then the 4th one, like Judgment, I think it was, the prequel, I heard that was awful, and I didn't touch that either.
I haven't heard too much on Gears of War lately, so...
I think this is good for people who like the series, but I would say maybe wait till next E3 when they talk more about it.
Yeah, I know plenty of people are big fans of the series. It's a big series, but it's just not my particular favorite.
I feel they ended it on this, just, to give kind of like the hype, like, look at this, we're making a new big game. Yeah. They didn't want to just end on the HoloLens, because that was like, their techie bets. They know they wanted to get a game out there, so they showed Gears footage.
Big new exclusive that nobody really thought was going to come.
But it did.
They couldn't end it on Halo 5 because everyone knew about that.
Yeah.
So they had to end it with Gears.
So that is the Xbox thing, and now I'm going to do a final wrap-up. So what do you guys think about, based on what you heard, and I know you guys didn't see it because it was earlier on in the day, you all had stuff to do, but what do you think about the conference? How does it compare to previous year's conferences? How it compares to other ones this year? What did you think of the way they did their conference?
I don't think we're honestly able to say that without watching the entire thing ourselves.
Well, yeah, but I mean, essentially, the idea of what they showed, though, I'm kind of asking from you guys, since you didn't actually see, like, their actual chemistry and whatnot and how they worked it. but like based on what they announced here today.
Seeing as how last year was mostly hardware related, and that really was a letdown for me because like just of all the bad hype that was around the Xbox One, all that bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They, I guess you would say, stepped it up, even though it's kind of hard not to from what they did last year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It seems like they did what they were supposed to do at an E3. They talked about their upcoming games, a couple new features, and only because of how they have performed the last couple of years does it seem like something really big and a lot better than what we've been used to. So they did what they were supposed to, so that's a step up, I guess.
I think it was a good conference. Like, it was a solid E3 conference. It's not going to blow any minds. It's not going to turn many heads. The HoloLens was probably like their big seller from this because it was such a cool demonstration of virtual reality technology. But I think they started off really strong. It kind of tapered down when they got the EA Access, Plants vs. Zombies. They tried a big deal thing with the 4GT, but it didn't go anywhere. And though they had some really interesting indie titles in there, like Cuphead and Beyond Eyes, some stuff was kind of slow. So the beginning and end were really strong. The middle, not that exciting. I would probably say that's how you'd want to work it if you're going to make this. Like, you'd put your less exciting stuff in the middle, so that way you don't end on a low note or start on a low note.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's just a little too much that wasn't going to sell systems in this.
Mm-hmm.
They still need more stuff to come out. But most of the stuff that's coming out is either going to be non-exclusives, interesting stuff. A lot of it's non-exclusives, or they're going to be Xbox first, and then they're going to be released to other stuff. The only thing I'm happy about here is that a lot of these Xbox exclusives are going to also be on PC as well. So, if I end up being interested in something that doesn't affect me much, because it can be right there, I can get it. It won't be like, oh man, I need to buy an Xbox One. So, I mean, that's good for, PC gamers' perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything to compare it to past E3s, but I think they did a decent job. I think they got out what they needed to get out.
Mm-hmm.
They covered different grounds. They covered games. Backwards compatibility was a big thing. Yeah. Here's a new controller. And here's a shout out to a bunch of indie games, too.
Yeah. I will say that in the Microsoft show, though, indies usually aren't associated with them. And based on some indie developers, they hate working with Microsoft. At least, like, their indie portions is usually really good of their conferences. They do a good job, like, shouting out some indie titles that maybe you should take a look at. Though I kind of wish they would maybe delve a little more time into some of the more interesting ones in there. 'Cause I think Tacoma and Ashen were really not the most exciting to go for.
I don't know. I don't think they can spend too much time on indie games for their conference.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying, like, spend all the time, but I think they could have picked some better ones than Tacoma and Ashen.
Here's a game. Go check it out on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually, as a fun fact, that's where I heard about White Knight from. That was from the E3 Xbox Indie wrap-up. And I haven't played it yet, but I've seen some stuff on it. It looks cool. I'm interested. I haven't really looked into it much after it, though, so I want to maybe check that out and see what that's all about. It's kind of like a black and white noir adventure horror game kind of thing. It looks pretty cool. Okay. I'm usually not interested in horror games, so...
Yes and no. Sometimes I am. Sometimes not.
Check it out. Visual style is really impressive. But I believe that's it for this conference. So, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have the biggest Microsoft crowd here, so it's hard for Adam and Chico to get excited about stuff.
Yeah, but most of us watch it.
Yeah, so don't worry. We'll have other ones that we actually did watch in full and took notes on.
Mm-hmm.
If you liked what you saw here today, hit us up with a subscription down below. Also down below is going to be in the description. Everything we talked about in here was timestamped, so you can jump to a topic if you want to hear our thoughts about that particular topic. We're going to be covering the other conferences. Next, I believe we're going to be doing the EA conference, so be sure to check that out. We're also going to do Sony, Nintendo, and eventually Ubisoft, which is going to be a little bit later because I accidentally forgot to watch that one. And Tyler was giving me an earful. He was saying, like, why didn't you watch the Ubisoft one? It was so good. So, yeah, so I believe that's it for now. We will see you next time. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Not hello this time. Goodbye.